Oh, yeah. Listen, I was thinking about some of the videos I made earlier today. Yes. And there was a word called coaching, and I myself have been involved in coaching before. I had been in a coaching class where I learned to coach different individuals so as to accomplish their life goals. And I would often think of myself as a coach. And I really feel that there's some women that want to volunteer that feel like they need some coaching. They need somebody to show them how to do a few things. You know, when you volunteer to be a part of a global system of monitoring the menopause, no, the menstruation, thank you, the lactation, the mucus behind the cervix channel, and what could be the ejaculation. Choo-choo. I'm thinking softball players would make good coaches. Now, I was watching women's softball earlier today, and it seemed like most softball players, they must have been coached for most of their junior high, high school, and those in college and university softball. They're probably 19, 20, 21 years old, and they probably know how to do different types of softball stretches. Yeah. I thought, well, what if each woman was to have a coach specifically to help them accomplish the goals of being able to provide those fluids is not a good those liquids from a woman's body. But then I got to looking at them. I thought, well, you know, most of them, they just have average sized breasts. Sometimes they have pretty good sized thighs or hips. You know, I find softball players very attractive. They look like women. And when you think about it, what happens to a woman that wears a bikini, a two-piece bikini that's too small for her? It gets wedgy, doesn't it? You know, wouldn't it be funny if I employed maybe 200 to 400 softball players that are 18 to 22 years old, and I instructed them on how to bring to orgasm the 5 erogenous zones of a woman's body. Just to help those employees and volunteers and some conference center meeting women that say, I don't really know if I can do that. But they want to. Yeah. They want to get the mucus from behind the cervix channel, and they really want to find that G spot. You know, a lot of women, they say, well, I don't think I have one. I thought, you know, most of the testing that's involved on whether or not there's actually a grouping of nerve endings right above the top of the vaginal muscle was done by women that had weak vaginas. You know, every woman that goes to a conference center meeting, or every woman that is employed or volunteers in my offices, I design what it looks like an egg, and I start a woman. It's a special type of egg. I measure the length and the width of her vaginal muscle. Oh, then you start with about 4 ounces of weight, and you kegel that. You can for about 3 months, and then you goes up to I think it's 8 ounces of weight. And then at 12 ounces of weight, I put a little buzzer in there. It causes a vibration effect on that grouping of nerves right above the vagina, right below the clitoris. Yes. Now, I ask every employee and volunteer to strengthen their vaginal muscles over 18 months so that they can easily kegel 1 pound of weight in their vaginal muscle. Now, it could be that some women are like, no wonder I can't find my G-spot. My vagina's too loose. Now, my thought is, is I might need about, well, 200 to 400 softball players that are concerned about muscle strength. That would like to show women how to stretch. I tried to explain that the wider that you spread your legs while giving yourself, the better it's probably going to feel. Now, my thought is I'm going to need to locate 200 to 400 softball players that play softball in colleges and universities throughout the United States to start with. It could be throughout the world. And I'd like to volunteer, just to go to the office. Now, one of the problems is I'm going to have to design something special for them. And let me call you right back, okay?